Hi there, these comments are for JS and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-Step System to Pass the TOEFL IBT, and you are one of my TOEFL Writing Bootcamp students. And as one of my TOEFL Writing Bootcamp students, I will error correct 2 of your videos, or 2 of your practice tests. And today, I'm looking at Independent Writing Practice Test number 4. The topic is, people have different ways of escaping the stress and difficulties of modern life. Some read, some exercise, others work in their gardens. What do you think are the best ways of reducing stress? Use details and examples in your answer. So I'm putting you right now at 3.0 out of 5, or 20 points out of 30. So according to the rubrics, if you look at the score of 3, sometimes it's difficult to understand the connection of your ideas. You have somewhat developed explanations, which means you can develop some parts more than others. You have some problems with your sentence formation and word choice. So these are some things that are bringing your score down. Now in this particular video, I'm actually going to rewrite your essay and show you what you need to do to get a perfect score on this particular essay. So your score is 3.0 out of 5, right? Now let's say if you want to get a score of 5, or 30 points out of 30, there are a number of things that you can do, I think, in order to improve your writing. Okay, let's take a look at your first paragraph here. So I'm going to say here, in the 21st century, where everyone is in the race, I'm going to change your of to for. So for success, and maybe I'll try to take down some notes here. And notice after success, I have to put a comma, not a period, because if you put that comma there, you end up with what's called a sentence fragment. Okay? Alright, let's keep going here. So everyone has to face different kinds. We want to make that plural, because that's a count noun, and you didn't put a before it. So you want to say different kinds of challenges to be successful. Competition makes the world more challenging. I would add to what you've said maybe by using a transition word. Moreover, competition makes the world more challenging, and that creates stress. One of the major issues, again, be careful of your plural count nouns. Make sure you put those S's on there. One of the major issues in today's generation is depression. I'm going to put here which is in part due to this intense stress, so it ties this sentence to the previous sentence. The depression thing didn't quite fit within the paragraph. Say youth are becoming more competitive these days, which is good for new innovation and growth in the nation. Maybe, I don't even think you need this. Let's get rid of this, because you've talked about it. I think it's probably better like this. So the youth, you're using youth even though it's an adjective. No, it's a noun. It needs to be plural there because you're talking about young people, right? So the youth are becoming more competitive these days, which is good for new innovation and growth of the nation, but at the same time, they cannot, I'm going to say tolerate is a little bit better word than digest. They cannot tolerate even small downfalls. How about this? Let me show you. I'm going to use a noun clause here, but that they cannot tolerate even small downfalls. And then we need our main verb there, which means what we're saying here, but the fact that they cannot tolerate even small downfalls leads to depression, or that they cannot tolerate even small downfalls leads to depression. Maybe here, we already used moreover. Further, one has to work hard to earn money and stay in a good position at the workplace. Stress of work, job money, etc. has increased a lot these days. Okay, let's take a look at what we have here. So, one cannot escape from hard work, which follows I want to say which is followed. Because you have by there, we need passive voice here. So this is a problem with passive voice. One cannot escape from hard work, which is followed by stress, but one can surely work to alleviate the stress. Quality reading, exercise, and outdoor activities are, I want to say, the best stress relieving factors for me. I'm going to connect both of these together as an adjective. So stress relieving factors. And let's change this. Reading books is an effective way to reduce the stresses ordinary days. What did I do here? You needed a topic sentence. And the topic sentence needs to be making an argument. And the argument needs to connect back to what we said here. So reading a book is an effective way to reduce the stresses of our ordinary days. There, then we go back here. Books are best friends. I'm going to say someone said, comma, books are best friends. really admire this saying. Getting, I'm going to say, in the habit of reading maybe regularly I'm going to say makes my, not your. So you want to remember to keep what's called a consistent point of view here. Positive thinking is really important in hard times. Yeah, but this doesn't really fit. You're not saying anything about positive thinking, so we got to get rid of that. I have a habit of keeping one book always with me. You might say, reading these. Reading these books reduces stress and inspires me for more challenges. So we need to actually support this idea, right? You don't have anything specific in here to illustrate your idea. You move to these general ideas. So we need to give an example of a specific book and then show how that book inspires you for more challenges. Okay, so what I've done, right here, I'm adding this. I'm using just one example to illustrate how reading books inspires me for more challenges. So I'm trying to give you an idea on how you can have a little bit more depth and complexity of thought to your ideas. So you'll say, for example, currently I'm reading a fantasy book called The Hobbit, focusing around a fictional character who encounters difficult challenges in his life. At one point in the story, the Hobbit faces extraordinary challenges when going on a long journey, and he learns to depend on others for his survival. Likewise, the ideas in the book inspire me to rely on those around me to get through my difficult days, and it's this reliance which helps to reduce my stress. Therefore, reading books is an effective way to minimize stress in my life. So that paragraph now has a specific example. You did not have that. This is what I'm looking for. Once you get into the middle of the paragraph and you make an assertion, for example, you said reading books reduces stress, inspires me for more challenges. That's an assertion. It's now time to find an example to help back it up. And the example that I use to help back up that idea, it's 95 words. So that is a sufficient example to illustrate this idea. See what we're saying? All right, let's move on. You say, secondly, exercise and outdoor activities are keys to stay mentally healthy. But that doesn't go back to the stress idea. So you need to make sure the topic sentence, it connects back. I'm going to say something like this. I think this is going to work better. So we'll say, second, exercise and outdoor activities are additional factors in reducing stress in my life. I personally prefer to exercise as an outdoor activity. Fresh air gives me good oxygen, ultimately fresh mind. I prefer to go biking a lot. In addition, I like to play outdoor games like volleyball. It really reduces my work stress and helps me to make more friends. I consider exercise as a prayer. The problem here, there's too many general ideas. Your paragraph, if we compare these, let's take a look. So this paragraph I think is adequately developed. So we're 150 words. This paragraph, the one that you wrote, you're 68 words and you don't really have any specific details in there. Okay, so I'm going to show you what you can do here to really develop this paragraph better than what it is. And notice, I'm going to focus around one idea, one specific idea. Okay, so now, in this second paragraph, let me fix this. Okay, so again, you don't have depth and progression of thought to your ideas. You're not going to get this really good score. Look at this. To get the high score in writing, it says here, effectively addresses a topic, displays a progression of ideas. Progression. Progression means that you take an idea and then you develop it over several lines within a paragraph. You go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. You don't have any progression at all. None. Right? So it's hard for you to get a high score. So with this paragraph, I completely changed it. And this is what I'm saying. Exercise and outdoor activities are additional factors in reducing stress in my life. For example, notice I only talk about one thing, biking. That's it. You see, for example, I like to go biking when I have free time, and last week I went on a 45-kilometer biking trip to the beach with my friends. During our excursion, notice the word excursion refers to the biking trip. So instead of saying trip, I use a different word there to show that I have a variety of vocabulary words to explain my ideas. During our excursion, we talked about some of our challenges with family and work as we enjoyed fresh air and beautiful blue skies. After about 45 minutes, we reached the clear blue ocean and spent another 30 minutes riding along the coast before turning around to head home. Being able to go on this bike ride and to be able to hang out with my friends helped me to forget some of my stresses at work. In fact, during the bike ride, I was able to get some good ideas from my friends, which helped me cope better with some of my life stresses. Thus, similar to reading, exercising also helps to lessen stress in my life. Okay, so we have that paragraph. So this one we need to get rid of. Getting rid of that. So now we have our third point. I'm going to put this here. That's it. So now we simply need our conclusion. conclusion, one cannot run away from responsibilities, and that will create some kind of stress, but how to handle that stress I'm going to say maybe our hands may be better than your. And then you can say something like this: personally, I keep my life healthy both mentally and physically by keeping a habit of good reading. In addition, I prefer to go outdoors whenever I get the chance. Okay, so we have it. Now, how many words do we have here? I think that we're in pretty good shape here, right? Fine, we're good. 507 words. Now, what can you learn here? What can be learned from this exercise? Let's take a look at the essay one more time, and I'll give you some final comments. So the main thing that you can learn is you need sometimes better, more clearly framed topic sentences, but the big thing here with your writing is progression of ideas. You you tend to write in a very general way without specific detail. Now, these ideas that I put in these body paragraphs, guess what? I made them up. I just made them up. Yes, I have read the book called The Hobbit. I put that in there, but I made up a lot of that, and I made up the bike ride. So that's what you have to do. You have to imagine different kinds of examples that you can use and really in a detailed way explain those examples. Kids, look at the first paragraph. In the 21st century, where everyone is in the race for success, everyone has to face different kinds of challenges to be successful. Moreover, competition makes the world more challenging, and that creates stress. The youth are becoming more competitive these days, which is good for new innovation and growth of the nation, but at the same time, don't need the word that here. They cannot tolerate even small downfalls leading to depression. Further, one has to work hard to earn money and stay in a good position at the workplace. Stress of work, job, money, etc. has increased a lot these days. One cannot escape from hard work, which is followed by stress, but one can surely work to alleviate the stress. Quality reading, exercise, and outdoor activities are the best stress relieving factors for me. So you have a good thesis. Okay, paragraph 2. Firstly, reading books is an effective way to reduce the stresses of ordinary days. Someone said books are best friends. I really admire this saying. Getting in the habit of good reading regularly makes my life better. I have a habit to keep one book always with me. Reading these books reduces stress and inspires me for more challenges. For example, currently I'm reading a fantasy book called The Hobbit, focusing on a fictional character who encounters difficult challenges in his life. At one point in the story, the Hobbit faces extraordinary challenges when going on a long journey, and he learns to depend on others for his survival. Likewise, the ideas in the book inspire me to rely on those around me to get through my difficult days. And it is this reliance which helps to reduce my stress. Therefore, reading books is an effective way to minimize stress in my life. Notice how this last sentence, it ties into the first sentence. Okay, next paragraph. Secondly, exercise and outdoor activities are additional factors in reducing stress in my life. For example, I like to go biking when I have free time, and last week I went on a 45-kilometer biking trip to the beach with my friends. During our excursion, we talked about some of our challenges with family and work as we enjoyed fresh air and beautiful blue skies. After about 45 minutes, we reached the clear blue ocean and spent another 30 minutes riding along the coast before turning around to head home. Being able to go on this bike ride and to be able to hang out with my friends helped me to forget some of my stresses at work. In fact, during the bike ride, I was able to get some good ideas from my friends, which helped me cope better with some of my life stresses. Thus, similar to reading, exercising also helps to lessen stress in my life. And again, the final sentence here ties back to this. And even by saying similar to reading, I'm also tying it back to the previous paragraph. So there's a very clear connection of ideas. In conclusion, one cannot run away from responsibilities, and that will create some kind of stress. How about this? That will create stress. But how to handle that stress is in our hands. Personally, I keep my life healthy, both mentally and physically, by keeping a habit of good reading. In addition, I prefer to go outdoors whenever I get the chance. Both of these maybe activities help me to reduce stress in my life. That's it. So there we go. So what do? Now you might say, well, it takes you too long to get this kind of writing in 30 minutes. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say take an hour, take 2 hours. I don't care how long it takes, but I want you to, when you're doing writing practice tests, I want you to really focus on trying to develop the topic in more specific detail. Keep these body paragraphs, especially if you're only giving 2 reasons, you want to keep these body paragraphs around 150 words a piece. And with each body paragraph, I want you to practice on bringing up just one specific example and then developing that in that particular paragraph. If that takes you 2 hours, that's fine. First of all, you need to do what I'm asking you to do, no matter how long it takes. Then once you can do that, then you work on reducing the time it takes to write this kind of essay. And eventually, you will be able to do this in 30 minutes. All right? And thank you for doing this independent writing practice test. I hope that this error correction video has given you an idea on how you can more specifically develop your ideas so you can get a higher TOEFL score on the writing section.